I struggle to grasp how popular No More Heroes is. It was successful enough on the Wii to get a sequel, but was then kind of forgotten for a generation, but it had maintained enough of that following to be revived with a spin-off and another sequel more recently. In spite of that, I've never really seen anyone talk about it, and I don't really know how much of an active fanbase it has, but I've always been aware of the Strange series, and this is a year that I'd finally bite the bullet and actually play it. A challenging boss rush game, and the Wii's motion controls hardly seem like a match made in heaven, and since the game is nearing its 18th birthday, I could definitely feel its age in some of the more imprecise moments. But for the most part, it held together well enough that I wasn't consistently getting frustrated with the game's unconventional input method. In fact, I was more distracted by this game's dedication to keeping you guessing, breaking the fourth wall, all encapsulated in a high saturation cel-shaded style that makes a Wii game still look pretty fresh. While the League of Assassins that make up the selection of bosses aren't created equal, with some having strange design choices that made them more frustrating than challenging, as a whole they were a fun lineup to work through. Of course, just beating the bosses isn't the whole game, and you'll need to complete a selection of lower bounties and mini-game chores to earn enough cash to take on the next main target. It's a fun gimmick though, and it helps contribute to the game's overall sense of humour, and while it got grating at times, it helped flesh out the setting and make this unbelievable world feel at least a little more real. When talking about ambitious games that I end up not agreeing with, I mentioned how I always prefer a big swing and a miss compared to something safe and bland. And while No More Heroes is a big swing, it's also a pretty strong hit as well, since even though it didn't succeed on every front, it succeeded in the areas that mattered, and I can see how this first game helped launch the unconventional series it has ended up being a part of.